business, and how can you partner or innovate around the rest. And I think we've definitely moved past the idea that fin and tech are at odds with each other. Rather, the epiphany for us in our client engagements this year is it almost doesn't matter whether you come at it from the perspective of a large bank with regulatory expertise, capital, brand, or you come at it from a new tech entrant perspective, and you have beautiful user experiences, speed to market, etc. The common denominator of the clients who are getting successful is understanding what is your core, and then really building around the rest. So what I'd like to do with my last few minutes is share what we see as 3 common denominators across clients who are successfully executing technology strategies, whether you come at it from the fin side or whether you come at it from the tech side. And the 3 things are here. I think one of the other speakers brought this up. You know, digitization is not a one-off experiment. You don't do a technology project and you're done. You know, the way mentally we need to restructure our businesses is it's a long journey of many steps. You know, I can think of our own company where we took on digital onboarding as a priority 2 years ago, and it would also be done in 2 years. Well, you know, we have clients in 170 jurisdictions, we onboard in 8. You know, it is definitely a journey of small steps. And it becomes important in choosing partners that can work with you. You know, we've gone through our own iteration of that. Who can grow with us across those jurisdictions and client segments? Because what we built for a year ago has already changed again. The second is this idea of knowing your core competency, and I'll come back to that. And the third is kind of a new theme that's coming up, which is the time and commitment to execute these successfully internally. And it's not something that gets a lot of airtime, but how you organize these projects, in our experience, tends to be a make or break factor. So the first is just this idea of using technology as an enabler, not a replacer. You know, I'm still always surprised at these debates about all digital or all human. You know, the fundamental, and if you look at other industries that have gone through these transformations, it's really the idea of using technology to make the most of human airtime. You know, if you want to be engaging with your clients, there are a lot of activities. You know, advisors spend 80% of their time on non-value add activities and 20% of their time preparing for the meeting, digesting what the client said, and following up. You know, that's just staggering. And every time the market gaps, every broker the world over experiences an uplift in call activity because people want to talk to humans to stay the course. And there are some in the audience that would say we can do that over a chatbot in the future. But I think the more likely outcome is how do those two things work together? You know, what you really want to know is if there's a market gap, do I care? And does it come to my mobile and tell me that it's only a 0.5% of my portfolio, rest easy, today's big news is not your concern. And that's where technology can really shift the engagement of the advisor with the client. The second is this idea of breaking down the customer journey. You know, as we all know, traditional financial services companies had been built to deliver this whole ecosystem, but it is just simply no longer viable to own every part of this journey. You know, there are discrete pieces of attracting clients in the first place, and the robos, these 100 robos, did a really good job of developing intuitively pleasing front ends to attract clients. But then it's an entirely different business to onboard those clients in a regulatory compliant way in those jurisdictions, and then present investment opportunities in a digestible and appropriate capital markets theory way. And then packaging those into a local version. You know, the idea that this is technology crosses all borders, but money has to show its passport. You know, every jurisdiction has its local tax wrapper and nuance that needs to be dealt with to execute within a local market successfully. And then there's the trade execution and the post-trading services, and ultimately the reporting and monitoring of portfolios and cross-selling new ideas. And if you think about even even each of these